Hello and welcome to MadAlec's Assistance videos. This is for our Flyer 1002 Mobile HVAC Service Flyer for October setup and April run. Now, since this is only our second assistance flyer, and this is for a mobile-based business, we're going to get in a little more in-depth as far as why the flyer is set up the way it's set up, along with the campaign that's on the flyers. From this point forward, all the other assistance videos will be more set up around the campaign and the business that they're set up for. So with that, let's go into depth and take a look at the flyer itself. Now, one of the key things you'll notice about the flyer is it's set up in 3 portions. And the reason why we do this is because we're trying to mirror something that a consumer uses and you use on a daily business, and it's your cell phone. Now, think about it. Whenever you set your cell phone down and you pick it up after a while, you're usually looking for 3 things. The first thing is notifications. Did you get any calls or texts? After that, you usually look at what's the time, and then finally, what battery life do you have? Or it could be the weather. But regardless, you usually look at 3 things. Think about it the next time you pick up your phone and take a look at what you actually look at, and you'll be surprised. Now, keeping that in mind, that's the main reason why we set up our flyers the way they're set up. So let's get in and take a look at why they're set up that way to give you a better explanation on why you should keep your flyer set up the exact same way or use the templates that we provide for you. So with that, let's take a look at the flyer. At the top of the flyer, one of the first things the consumer looks at is, why am I reading this? So the first item a consumer sees should explain what the flyer is for, i.e. a sale, a promotion, a grand opening, a holiday event, some kind of an activity. Your business name should not be at the top of the flyer. We'll talk about where your business is located later. But when you're considering using a flyer, one of the key things that you need to consider is the consumer's time. Just like I said, they're usually looking for 3 things. If it says Bob's at the top, not that Bob isn't a great company in that, but the reason why you don't want that up in there is because if someone's new to there and they see Bob's, they don't care. You want to get down to business right away with the consumer and let them know what your offer is for. Why am I reading this? That's why we have this at the very top of the flyer. Second, looking at the flyer, what do I get? What is the call to action? What explains what this offer is for? Does the full description, aka the fine print of the offer, easily inform the consumer what's included? Is the value for the offer price easy? Is it easy to recognize? Also, when is action required by? Now, these are key things that you are going to want to pay attention to as far as what your flyer is going. So taking a look at this flyer, at the very top we have what the deal is. 1 cool deal. 2 services for the price of 1. We have pictures. Gentleman working on an HVAC unit on the outside, and then we have a filter. We automatically go into our offer, AC tune-up and air filter replacement, and then we get into the details and when the consumer needs to act. So again, information's quick and easy for the consumer to understand and get in depth with that. Now, at the bottom of the flyer is our part 3. How do I get this? If the flyer is for a mobile-based business, make sure to include a picture or a like picture of the vehicle that will be there with your logos on it to provide a visual reference to mobility. It also gives example of what is expected to be seen when the services are requested. So whenever the consumer calls us up, the reason why you're putting a picture of your product in there, they understand that they're not going to take their AC compressor to a location-based business. They understand this is mobile. However, by showing that on there, it immediately, again, if you're looking to grab the person's attention without them reading the full flyer, by putting key points in your flyer, you automatically get people to engage with your flyer and want to read in depth further. So they see a deal, and by the time they see the van at the bottom, okay, it's something that's coming to me. Let me read in more. So each item that's on there, you're trying to entice them to get more in depth with your flyer. So let's take a further look. Now, the other thing we need to remember is this is a flyer. It is not a menu. You might have multiple things that you can do on a mobile-based business, but the key thing you want to do is you want to have your offer. A flyer is used for highlight only one offer or one part of the campaign. Do not overload the front of your flyer. Too much information or too busy equals the trash can. Also, Here is where you want to put your information. Remember to include your logo. This is where your business name goes. So this is where your information as far as your telephone number, your logo, your website address. This is where you want to put that information because it's at the bottom of the flyer and it's the area where you want to get action taken. Now, other thing about the flyers is quality. Businesses are professional and use quality materials. You want to make a good first impression. Double check your offer. Check your spelling. Check your price. If you have your price wrong and it's a $150 cost and you list it for $1.50, that's going to be a big problem because once you set it out to your consumers, they're going to want to hold you to that what offer is. Next, the other thing is paper. One of the key things that we say here at MadAlec is we want to use cardstock, and the reason why is here is cardstock, and you see it's pretty rigid. It also has a nice feel to it. Here's ordinary paper. Okay, ordinary paper has a cheap, chintzy feel to it, and it's not quality material. By using cardstock or almost cardstock, 65 pound is almost cardstock. 100 pound is considered usually cardstock or aka greeting cardstock. By using 65 pound, you have a nice material in your hands. It feels quality material. It's got a nice feel to it. Plus, it's pretty rigid when the consumer's looking at it, so it means business. So it's something that, again, the feel will help draw the consumer in to take a look at your ad that's out there, and then that will help them engage and detail into it more. Something like this lets them believe, it's a local nobody, and let me get rid of it. Where this builds in that you're a quality professional type business. Now, having said that, as far as if this is your first time watching this video and you're watching it on YouTube, you need to go to the website listed below, madalec.com, to download the materials. If you have downloaded the materials, you'll see that there's 3 components to every MadAlec advertising campaign. First component, of course, is the flyer example. This is editable. So if you like this, but you have a different type business, you can go in and change the fonts, you can change the pictures, you can move it around, and you also want to go in and change your own pricing information, so on and so forth. You can use the campaign as it is, just updating the information and your logos and your company truck as you need, or you can totally rearrange the flyer. It's done in Microsoft Word, so it's nice and easy. The other 2 items that they come with is if you're going to alter the flyer or you're going to create your new one off the template here or other templates, the other thing that it includes is a check sheet. So this covers a lot of what we talked about, and the main reason why I include the check sheet in there is a check sheet for you to take a look at, whether you're doing the flyer yourself or you're having someone else do it. At least it gives you something to go by and remember. So you follow the check sheet items that are on there, it'll help you build a successful flyer for your business. Finally, and this is one of the things that we didn't talk about that's located at the bottom of the flyer. But if you look at the bottom of the flyer here, you'll notice there is a number. Now this number is a tracking number, and the reason why we have a tracking number is you should always track your information that you're on your flyers to make sure that you have some kind of an idea of how that ad campaign work. So looking at the tracking information, one of the key things that we want to do on this is we want to have information pertaining to where we put the flyer. So when did we run the flyer? What is the tracking number on the flyer? Where did we distribute the flyer? What was the flyer for? How many did we distribute? And then this is where you want to track it. How many did you get redeemed? That way you can do the math. At the bottom of the tracking sheet, you'll notice there is a calculation to calculate your rate of return. Calculating this type of rate of return will let you know what your success rate was. Now, here's a key thing that you usually don't find out by a lot of advertising companies, but we want to be forward with you so you understand what to expect. The average rate of flyer return is 1/4 to 5%. Now 5% or 50 redemptions on 1,000 flyers distributed is extremely well. Now you might say that that sounds like not a lot. However, it is extremely good, and one of the key things that's out there is advertising. Remember, you're not going to hit everyone that wants a specific offer that you're offering, but you will hit numerous people. But by tracking it, what you can do is if you run this ad campaign in 2 different locations and you track each of the tracking numbers, you can find out, did this ad campaign work better in this location as opposed to this location? And that's going to be extremely good for you because you'll be able to generate another ad campaign like that for that existing zip code. And if it didn't work in another one, you can try a different ad campaign in that new area. And so that's why it's extremely important to do tracking on it so you know what your results are. By knowing what your results are, you can build better ad campaigns later on or repeat a very successful ad campaigns at different times of the year or every year if it's a holiday type ad campaign. So that's why we want to have the tracking information. Data is powerful, and what a lot of the internet companies, their biggest business is collecting the data for advertising. So that's why you want to have this type of information in there. So with that, we thank you very much for tuning in to our assistance videos. Again, if you haven't seen this material, please click on the website below, MadAlec.com. It will take you to all of our training videos and assistance information. It'll also provide more links to our flyers. Also, we have marketing campaign information that will help you build a successful marketing advertising campaign. So please click on the link below to go to MadAlec.com and get more of the information that you can download. And with that, we look forward to assisting you in providing the tools, steps, and plans that will help each small business and blue-collar entrepreneur build market awareness with distinct advertising that's local, economical, and cultivates growth. We are MadAlec. Thank you.